Hello friends, I welcome you all to yet another interesting session on basics of fundamental analysis with me Sarthak Shah. Today I am going to focus on rights issue as we had already covered bonus and splits in our last video. So if you have missed that video, I insist to watch that video first for better understanding of rights issue. Besides rights issue, today I am going to cover two important other concepts like market participants and circuit limits. So I would insist to please watch this video till last. And once again I would like to disclose that any companies talked about in this video are solely for educational purpose and should not be considered as recommendations in any direct or indirect manner. So let's begin now. In layman language, if I have to explain rights issue, then I would say it as if you are the shareholder of any company, means if you are holding any shares of any company and when that company issues rights, then you are getting a right, means आपको एक अधिकार मिल रहा है कि आप उस कंपनी से डायरेक्टली शेयर्स बाय कर सकते हो एट अ डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस. For example, take the latest Reliance rights issue, which was set in the ratio of 1:15 and at a discounted price set by the company at 1:57. Means if you are holding 15 shares of Reliance, then you are getting a right to buy one more share of Reliance directly from the company at 1:57. Now let us try to understand whether any investors are getting any profit or benefited from this rights issue. As you can see on the screen, consider any company whose net profit is 5000 and have 1000 outstanding shares. So EPS will be 5000 divided by 1000. Now consider that company issuing rights in the ratio of 4:1, means any shareholders who has one share will be getting right to buy 4 shares at a discounted price. So now the shares will be 1000 plus 4000 equals 5000, and at last the EPS will be 1 because the net profit doesn't increase or decrease when issuing rights. So before there were 1000 shares and earnings per share was 5 rupees. Now shares increased to 5000 and so earnings per share also reduced by 1/5, that is now 1 rupee. So in short, any investors are not getting any benefit from rights issue. Please take a note that this case doesn't apply for every rights issue. So that was all about right issue. Now moving ahead, let us discuss another important concept for today's video, that is market participants. So there are generally 5 market participants in stock market: stock exchange, investors, issuers, financial intermediaries and regulator. Now let us discuss all these 5 in detail. First, stock exchange. I have already covered this concept in one of my previous videos, but to explain it in brief, I can say it provides a platform for investors to buy and sell securities from each other. This is secondary market. Primary market comes under IPO. Second is investors. In simple words, I can say that they are the people like you and me. But you need to remember that we cannot directly buy or sell shares from stock exchanges like NSE, BSE. We can trade only through members of stock exchange. Members means brokers like Motilal Oswal, ICICI Securities, Kotak Securities, etc. So you need to open first the demat account with the brokers to trade in stock market. So again, focusing on investors, there are various categories of investors like RII, HNI, DII, FII or FPI. I am taking this concept because you will generally find this all kind of data mostly during IPOs. So RII means retail individual investors. People like you and me come into this category. Second is HNI, means high net worth individuals. While applying for IPO, say if any investor apply for less than or equal to 2 lakh rupees, then they fall under RII category. And if more than 2 lakh rupees, then they fall under HNI category. Next is DII, means domestic institutional investor. Means say mutual fund companies, banks, insurance companies, etc. fall under this category. And last is FII or FPI, means foreign institutional investor or foreign portfolio investor. This basically comes from foreign funding, generally said as outside entities investing in the India's financial market. Now moving ahead to issuers. Issuers are companies willing to be listed on the stock exchange. So any companies issuing IPO are said as issuers. Next is financial intermediaries. It is an entity that acts as the middleman between two parties in a financial transaction. Can anyone know from which seller you have bought shares or to whom you have sold shares? Obviously no. So there is a clearing house who deals with all such transactions in stock market, and it is different for both NSE and BSE. For NSE, it is NSCCL, that is National Securities Clearing Corporation Limited, and for BSE, it is ICCL, that is Indian Clearing Corporation Limited. Friends, do not mix this clearing house of NSE and BSE with the depositories of NSE and BSE, that is NSDL and CDSL. They are depositories of NSE and BSE. NSDL is National Securities Depository Limited and CDSL is Central Depository Services Limited. Depositories are the one who hold shares in dematerialized form. Last but not the least is the regulator. That is SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, is the regulator of the securities and commodity market in India owned by Government of India. The main aim of SEBI is to protect the interest of the investors. So this was all about the different market participants. Now moving ahead, let us talk about circuit limits, that is upper circuit and lower circuit. First, let us understand why these limits are put. The reasons are very simple: to control volatility, speculation and extreme price movement. Indirectly, the main reason is to protect the interest of retail investors. Generally, circuit limits word is used for index, and for stocks, price band is used. Upper circuit, price or limit above which stock cannot trade for that particular day. It gets revised every day. For example, say today any stock is trading at 500 and its upper circuit is 550. Then for that particular day the stock cannot trade more than 550. And in upper circuit there are only buyers and no sellers. Next is lower circuit, price or limit below which stock cannot trade for that particular day, and it gets revised every day. For example, consider the same stock trading at 500 and its lower circuit say is 450. Then for that particular day the stock cannot trade less than 450, and in lower circuit there are only sellers and no buyers. And it is not that if today lower circuit has hit, then it cannot hit again on the next trading day. In recent times, you might have seen the script Ruchi Soya. Continuous lower circuit was hit, due to which many shareholders were trapped and were not able to sell their shares. Friends, you also need to know that there is no price band for F&O stocks. Means the stocks which are traded in derivative segments have no fixed price band. And you also need to know that there is no price band on the day of listing of any IPO. Hope topic covered in today's session is clear to everyone. If you are still facing any issues, feel free to comment. And yeah, do not miss to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. That's all from my end. I, Sarthak Shah, signing off for the day. Bye.